No, what?
What teams do you love, Maddox?
Then we're not talking to him right now, dude.
What?
He just said I love Ruckus.
He loves Ruckus.
He talks to Black Dane too much. And this is what we get.
Yeah, your son's a Ruckus fan. How's that feel, Ross?
I mean, whatever. He likes to root for losers, so.
Oh, that's harsh. That's cold. They beat you guys 2 months ago. I mean, that game doesn't really matter
How many
anymore.
championships is that? 0?
Who, Ruckus?
Yeah.
Same out as you do.
0?
You losers.
You have 0.
Are we counting B championship?
Bees don't. If we're counting bees, then 1. So you guys have 1 each. You guys have
They
1
do
bee
have
each.
1 B?
Yeah. Nobody knows what we're talking about in this discussion because they just tune in. This is a cold opening. We just talk about random things until we get.
Live?
We've been live for a while. Kent Page is
Oh,
watching.
hold
Shout
on.
out Kent
Let's go.
Page. Coley's watching. Shout
I
out
didn't know we were
Coley.
live.
Dude, you didn't know we were live? I was
No.
opening with what are Maddox's favorite teams and dislikes.
Oh, shit.
And he likes Ruckus, we learned. Do you like Railroaders? No? He shook his head no. Do you like the Red Knights? No? He shook his head no. Do you like the Warriors? He nodded yes.
Of course.
He should come on camera and do this. Ross is verifying this is happening, though. Do you like the program, Maddox? He shook his head.
He
Bro-
kind of hesitated with that one. He's
Did he?
indifferent. He's indifferent.
Indifferent. Okay. What about Broadaxe? Oh, he's thinking about this one. He doesn't know. He's not decided.
I was decided.
Yes. Okay.
You
He
got
likes
it.
Broadaxe.
Alright.
And what about ADR? Our league champion. The team who, as the shirt says, Adrenaline Rush Flag Football Champion. I know it's backwards, but that's what it says, if I'm being serious.
He doesn't like him right now because they just beat us.
I know, but he'll like him again soon when they're in
Yeah.
Maffle.
He will.
Never.
So, Ross,
Yes, sir.
how was your weekend?
It was actually not too bad, Joey.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, could have been better like always, but it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, could have been better. Could have been way better, man.
Could have been.
But you know what? Props to you, dude.
Sure, man.
You went out there, you did work, and I'm proud of the season you guys had. But we're going to get to that soon. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the show. Joining me tonight is Ross Collins.
Hey.
And joining us later will be ADR. We'll figure it out once we get through this earlier portion of the show. That'll be sometime in the next half hour, 45 minutes. But before that, we got to talk about Championship Sunday.
Championship Sunday.
The best and yet saddest day of the season when you think about it.
Yeah.
That means that's the end. That means there's no flag football. We're done. This is our final episode for the season.
Naturally.
Yeah.
Season's over. What
Season
more we
finale
have
for
to
us.
Talk about
Well,
all the free agents already. happened.
there's a lot going on,
There's
Ross.
A lot going on.
And we're only in June, but unfortunately, following tonight, Blunt Talk will be taking a month off. But we're going to be back come August. We got a lot going on this summer.
Refocus.
It's gonna be interesting to watch for certain. But going back to Sunday first, because we gotta put a bow tie to this season. Beginning with the first game, Broadaxe 10, Ruckus nothing, and a defensive battle through and through in this one. Ruckus defense, they came to play. They held their own. They held Clancy and company to just 10 points. That's really good
Yeah.
for a playoff game. But Broadaxe held Ruckus to 0.
Yeah.
So Ruckus getting a donut out of the playoffs for the third time, I believe, in the last 4 postseasons, Ross. They were donuted by Broadaxe in 2017 in the fall. AFN did it last spring.
Yeah.
Just sad exits for Ruckus. The offense, once again, the common factor theme issue with this team. And in this case, losing Renner really hurt them. Steven Renner was not there. Ryan Lockhart was your starting quarterback for that game.
Who
And
did decent?
He did decent. Don't get me wrong.
Well, with Renner running the whole season,
Yeah.
you missing that game.
The most important game, which
important.
things happened on his end. We don't know what went on with Steven Renner, so until we know that, can't say one way or the other. He did an excellent job at quarterback for what it's worth for Ruckus this season. I believe his final record, Ross, was 5-2. I believe. I believe then he lost 2 games to you guys in the program. He won all 5 of their starts at quarterback. So congratulations, Steven Renner. Great season at quarterback, man. You did a great job for what you had to walk into with Ruckus, but unfortunately not there for Championship Sunday. Ryan Lockhart put a valiant effort in there. What really hurt them to me, Ross, was the fact that I feel like they focused a little much on the passing game, which I get because Broadax's secondary was a big weakness, I felt like, going into this one.
I was going to say that, too.
However,
because when Will Bray ran a couple times,
yes,
Will Bray ran, he made things happen.
He did. Will Bray on that opening drive was electric.
I feel like he's one of those guys who just got to keep feeding the ball and let him do his thing, man.
That's the thing. And that disappeared after the first drive. They got down to the 4-yard line, and then they lost.
Working, why not?
And here's the thing. People forget. In that game, Ruckus got down to the 4-yard line. And when they got down to the 4, they didn't score. They were stopped in the end zone. And what had happened was Lockhart had gotten sacked on a couple pass plays.
Right.
What happened to the run game? It got stifled. Yes, but the rest of the game, it just vanished. And as a result, the Ruckus offense, non-existent, out of the playoffs, unfortunately for them. They just get donut out by Broadax, who just was able to adjust and had their way with them. They managed the clock. They put up enough points. So Broadax returning to the league championship for the first time, Ross, since the fall of 2017. It has been that long since we've seen Broadax in the ship.
That's pretty wild.
It is wild to think about, especially when you consider the run they've had in this decade. Yeah. The team of the decade, Broadax. And I'm saying that as a fact.
Team of the decade, yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah. But for them not to make the ship last year,
yeah.
Talk about redemption. We'll get to that momentarily, though.
Yeah.
Going to the next game, and let me tell you, what a brawl this was.
That was a wild game, man.
ADR and Warriors.
That was a wild game.
That game was one for the ages. A nice back-and-forth trench war, physical battle up front.
Yeah.
You have Justin Fox running for his life every single play, trying to save that Warriors offense. You had Tyler Spencer with 2 big interceptions on Chris Boone, but Coley Jones had the biggest difference. That pick 6 in the beginning on Cody Snavely. And that 7 to start the game was a major factor in the end. The final score, 20-13, ADR over the Warriors. Like I said, the trench war up front. It started out, it got to Snavely. He couldn't get anything going on offense. ADR's defensive line was too much in the beginning for your all's offensive line.
Yeah, we had to get some things figured out.
Yeah, and that was one of the things that hurt you guys early on. And as a result of that, Snavely threw 2 picks. Fox, like I said, he came in, and I don't think he was very successful passing the ball. The passing game was not really established. However, he didn't need to.
Right.
He just needed to run.
Right.
And run did Fox. He ran, like I said, he ran for his life that whole game. Fox on the run, man.
Yep.
And that method worked. It got Market Street to 2 championships. Remember that.
Points, man.
He can do that. He got the yards. He managed to control drives. And that was key to keeping ADR off the field. And yeah, you could say only 13 points, but
one of the keys to success of beating ADR is keeping their offense off the field.
Facts. You keep them off the field. They don't give them enough drives. They're not going to put up the points they do. The Warriors played possession with Fox running the ball. It did work out. They got stops on Boone. The defense played an excellent game. It was a far cry from what that first game was. Way better performance out of you guys in what was the most important game of the two. Because I harped on that 34-3 score last week, but you guys played an excellent game. Yeah. Probably the best loss in your franchise history.
There's no way that was happening again, I can tell you that.
You almost had it. 13-13 it was with 4 minutes to go before Boone drove ADR down the field to take the lead on the
60-yard lateral.
Yeah, that lateral.
4-yard lateral.
Ooh, that was what some were saying. I don't know. I might have to go back, but that lateral was huge. I think that was third down, Ross.
I'm not making excuses, anything like that.
But it was still an excellent play. And for ADR to manage to get control late, that just shows you the heart of a champion.
That was a very good game, man.
It was an excellent game. And honestly, the two of you just shined that day on the field.
Yeah.
That was a game where both sides, neither deserved to lose. Because I could tell both teams left it on the field.
Yeah.
So with that said, ADR to their third consecutive championship game. We finally get the game we were wanting for years, which was ADR and Broad Axe.
Yeah.
A side note, by the way, before I go into this fully, you can watch the Warriors ADR game on YouTube now, Washington County Flag football page, in a condensed format. It's only about 13 minutes long, so you don't have to sit through about an hour and a half of me talking. Just enjoy the game. Warriors ADR. Find it on YouTube. Great game. Championship game wasn't bad, actually. It was interesting.
It turned out to be alright, I guess I will say.
It turned around. That's the thing. It was an odd game. I will say that. It was an odd game.
First thing I'll say about championship games, I was there for, until about halftime of it, I think.
Yeah.
And it really seemed to me like Broad Axe was not woken up yet.
Well, and that was
you have the game sit down and then come back and play, which
ADR was full force ready.
Yeah,
and that was the biggest thing to start this game. ADR was up 16-0.
Yeah.
To start, they jumped up to a 16-0 lead.
Yeah, that's why I said the game is over. Let's go home.
Yeah.
I was hungry and tired.
And by all rights, I will say, watching it, it did look like it was over. Broad Axe just looked like they were just waking up. And ADR looked like they had just got done with you guys. They're ready to go. This had been the matchup we had all been waiting for many years. ADR Broad Axe, because we talk about how ADR is the modern dynasty.
Yeah.
Well,
I really wish they were coming back, man. I really do.
But we're going into this game, Ross. It was 16-0 early. Broad Axe did get back in the game. They did score. Clancy drove him down the field. He had that big play to Kayvon Carter, that big touchdown pass to him, to get them back in the game, to make it 16-7. But let me talk about a play that nobody's talked about, and that's the field goal that ADR was given in the third quarter, I believe. The one that sailed to the left, and even the guy next to me said it sailed wide. And they were given the field goal, which made it 19-7 instead.
Right.
Now, not saying anything, not saying that was a big difference, but not a good look.
Right.
But a lot of us, and even I thought it sailed wide, but it looked like it went wide to me live. And even I was about to call it wide, and they called it good. Not saying it was a difference, but that's a pretty big thing to happen in that game. But that being said, this was all ADR. ADR balled out from start to finish. And Broad Axe was able to get down the field the next drive. They settled for a field goal instead, which I questioned that decision more than I questioned some other decisions. But that was an interesting call. It made it 19-10, but it made it 19-10 with 4 minutes to go. And at that point, ADR scored about 4 plays later. And then the final play of the game, of course, Clancy picked off by Sean Parker, returned for a touchdown. ADR wins 32-10 was the final. And it was a little bit more interesting there than what the final score should have been. This was a bit of a closer game in the second half, but ADR, once they let him back in a little bit, I think managed to pull away in the end. Like I said, I disagreed with giving them a chance. I get the field goal, you want points, but I also feel like you want more points.
Right.
You got to go for 7 there. And Boone killed 2 minutes with just 4 plays and got 6, which at that point the offense had to respond. Clancy threw the ball, and from what he said, the receiver didn't run the right route on the comment page on it. I don't really know. I was back there filming. It happens. But the pick happened, and that was ball game. 32-10 to final. ADR, your league champion. We were told down by 11. Oh, wow. Seriously? So that makes sense. I get that now, Kevin. You see that, Ross?
Oh, I see it.
That comment?
I see it.
They were told. Wow. Whew.
Well, then.
Yeah. That's. Oof. If that was you, Ross.
I mean, I have Kyle Marshall, so I would have kicked it.
Yeah, but like that's.
If I was told that, but like you still, well.
That's still crazy. Well,
but at the same time, you should have enough people on the sidelines and stuff.
But then again, the refs were assuming that.
Or aware. I don't know, man.
Well, that's the thing. The score disparity is something we got to talk about later, though. But that's crazy. I just saw that comment. Okay, you got to chill with the whistle, Don. Little Don Brown over there. Come on, Don.
Nah, I mean, if they were told that sucks. But at the same time, you should have people on your sideline telling you that that's not true.
It's hard to keep. It's hard for the player.
I
I think it's hard for some players to keep track of scores, though. But like, we're not going to say that's what happened. And again, ADR won this game fair.
Yeah,
And they did play They played their asses off. But that being said, that does suck for Broadax because that's two things that went against him in that game.
Yeah, that sucks.
But the score. But the scoreboard thing.
If I'm being honest, that sucks.
But the scoreboard thing,
Your
yeah.
own shit.
I can see what you mean there, Ross.
Yeah.
I always try to keep track of the score, but like there's a reason why I don't do scoring stats until I get the official ones.
I've keeping track of our own time too.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: when I do that, there's really no point at the end of the day because if I brought it up with the refs and stuff, they would just go with their own time anyway.
Boone,
you know what I mean?
Boone is saying that he had talked to the ref before. I'm going to call Boone in about that, actually. Yeah, so we're going to be him in a few minutes once we finish up for the season. He was yelled at the ref. Wow. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It was 19-7. Like, all of us in the booth were watching, like, what were they doing?
Do you want some more?
More what?
Emily?
That'd be great. Thank you, Maddox. Good kid. Anyways, congratulations, ADR. Second consecutive championship. 2 out of 3 ain't bad, you know. They lost to AFN does hurt the dynasty a small bit, but at the same time,
shit, that was a good game, though.
It's been overshadowed since by the 2 big wins they've had in the championship game. Dominant fashion. Hey, one of the more dominant teams that this league has had. Statistically.
I was too honored that they had to go through us to get to this one. Honestly, I look at it that way too. I love ADR, man. Obviously, but fuck ADR.
Well, you might have to worry about him anymore. Ross is already shooting from the hip.
I'm gonna go play with him down Maffle too.
Is that official declaration? We're gonna get Boone on there for that in a few minutes. But first, let's look over the final power rankings.
All right, yeah, let's do that.
Let's wrap it up for this season.
Yeah, let's do that.
Beginning at number 7, the Railroaders. The bad news, fellas, you haven't won a game in a year. The last time you won the game, the Survivors were still a team.
Right.
Something's got to change there. Ah, thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Thanks, bro.
Good kid. Good kid. Really good kid. The good news. Your last game was your best defense performance all season and left an impression that with a tough, stout defense and that sense of an offense forming of Ian Fisher, that this team could get even better next season. I feel like if they get Ian back and if they play that kind of defense they played against Ruckus, which was way better than when Eddie they played all season. They had their guys. They were ready. If that team shows up, Brunswick could get a couple wins out of next season, you know? But they got to keep growing and building together. They got that sense of they got that commitment, and they like to play with each other. And that's what helps this team grow at the end of the day. Keep doing that, guys. You're doing great. Number 6, Red Knights. The bad news. Turnovers killed you all season, along with a defense that struggled as the season went on. The good news is this. You got time in the fall to improve. The offense has had chemistry, but turnovers killed them. Albeit, looking at the free agent situation, they lost Thad, so that was one of their biggest receiver threats. But honestly, I think Andy could find someone to replace Thad because he still has Scunyon.
Right.
If he can just bring in another receiver, he'll be fine, which he can definitely do that. But the Red Knights, you know,
I need to get a beer, man.
go grab a beer, brother. Go grab a beer. The Red Knights have struggled for a while since the split a couple years ago. And it seems like they're in the same stagnant point where they'll win a couple games a year and they'll just play ball, which if they're content with that, that's great. I'd love to see them competitive again at the top of the league. It's not the same about the Red Knights. It really isn't. It feels so weird that they're not up there with Broad Axe and X-Dog still competing for championships like Axe and Dog still do. It's a shame, really. Number 6 in this ranking, though. I had them above Brunswick because they beat them twice this year. However, I do kind of wonder if Brunswick had another game with them, if they had full rosters and met up, how would it have gone?
Red Knights?
Yeah. I feel like that Brunswick team could have beaten the Red Knights in the playoffs.
Yeah, I do too.
But the problem was when they played each other, it was 13 on 13. And it just wasn't everybody's full team. And you just don't get that sometimes, you know? But they got the fall to improve, and I think they're going to come out there. They're going to have some new faces. Andy's going to find some guys out of nowhere who are just who are pretty good. They step up, play good team ball. Will be enough to win a lot? That remains to be seen. Because fall is going to be something to behold. Looking at number 5, the program. The bad news is this. You guys have to rehaul that offense. It's time to rehaul it completely. I'm not saying to bench anybody, but I'm saying change it in a way that can grow it or evolve it. You could probably evolve Adam by changing the offense around him. You could do the same with Ricky. There's a lot of potential what you can do. Maybe go 2 quarterbacks. Something.
I would build my offense around Ricky.
You would go with Ricky Miller?
Yeah, if those are my 2 options out of Ricky. I go with Ricky.
And that's the good news is if they just revamp this offense, I think they'll be fine. Like I said, just change the way you design plays, change your personnel. Like I said, go 2 QBs. You say go Ricky. I say try 2 QBs. Maybe try Adam somewhere else. Make him play tight end or something. I think Adam could be an interesting red zone player. He's a big-bodied guy. He can get the ball. I saw you use Ryan Rao the same way before.
Yeah.
It works. You got to find guys like that. He could be a nice red zone target. If he wants to play quarterback, maybe change the way the offense is built on some other design. I mean, there's so many different ways you can approach this game. Got to be just creative. Because right now, the program offense is stale. And it's staler than, like, I don't know. It's just bad. It's just no.
Yeah.
It's no.
That playoff game
That playoff game was bad.
against them would have been harder with Ricky and QB.
Yeah. Number 4, Ruckus. Here's the bad news, Ruckus. QB seems to have no luck for you. Yeah, Steven Renner went, correction, he wasn't 5-2. He was 6-2 as a starter. Which, actually, Ross,
That's pretty good.
was the second best record by a quarterback this year starting. Do you know who was number 1?
Kristen,
Chris Boone. Only Chris Boone was above Steven Renner in record in wins this season.
that's easy one.
I know. But think about that.
Chris Boone leads
He was
all
a-
stats, everything.
He was only about a few wins off from Boone. Actually, Clancy surpassed him in the playoffs. I'll give that. Clancy did surpass him in the playoffs, but before that, he was ahead of Clancy.
For what?
Actually, no, they had the same amount of wins. I think they were about tied. So Renner was third. Actually, I had that backwards. I was still working out in my head, but still a good season for Renner. In terms of winning percentage, though, he's above Clancy. 6 out of 8.
Okay.
That's the 75% winning percentage.
Yeah, that's good.
And in terms of wins, he's up there. But the problem was, he wasn't there playoffs. And without him, Ruckus was 0-2. We saw Joe Edwards go out there week 1 against ADR and just get annihilated. And then we saw Ryan Lockhart against Broad Axe give a valiant effort, but just not enough there. So the thing is, it's either they get consistency with Renner, or they try to find a new quarterback option. The one wonders, will Renner be there as a starter in the spring, in the fall? I mean, I say if he's there, take him as a starting quarterback because right now, he's shown to be their best bet starting.
Renner?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like the Warriors show.
The Warriors Shobe?
Yeah.
Which was like the
Rockets Renner.
The Ruckus Renner? Okay.
Yeah. He reminds me of show.
He reminds you of Shobe.
That's basically what I'm trying to say.
Okay. I was wondering what you were trying to say there.
Daddy, is this orange or red?
But looking around here, the good news for Ruckus is this. You guys can still get to a championship game. You guys have a defense that plays well together. You have an offense that can play. You need to get more depth, though, in the trenches. That's a big thing. Depth in the trenches is huge. But you got to solidify that quarterback play as well. With Renner, he was 6-2 this year. Kool-Aid, man. Just Kool-Aid. That's all it is. Trey asking about what's in that cup. But with Ruckus, I think they'll be fine in the fall. They just got to soup up their trenches, and they got to solidify that starting quarterback position. I would go with Renner, like I said, 6-2 as a starting quarterback.
I just gotta go with Renner.
You got to go with Renner. You agree,
Yeah, you have to.
Matt? Yeah, we all agree. Go with Renner. 6-2. He had the second best winning percentage in the league as a starter.
Coming and playing, rolling.
Yeah. And looking down at number 3, Ross.
That's us.
Yep.
I'm cool with that.
You just fell short, man.
I'm cool with that.
You almost had it.
I was kind of wondering where you go with the final power ranking.
I thought about it, but I'm going to be fair. I'm going to be fair to Broadax. I'm going to be fair to Broadax.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what you have to put them second, but I wasn't sure what you would do with us and Rockets, man. To be honest with you.
I had you guys ahead of Ruckus because I feel like, as a whole, you guys were a better team down the stretch.
Right.
And that's because, and I even saw that when you guys blew them out in the Bassford Bowl. You guys beat them 20-0, and it was not close at all. And that was with Steven Renner. That was one of Steven's 2 losses. Was to the Warriors.
I'm good with it.
So I'm going to go with Warriors
Three.
above them at 3.
You obviously have to go Brown. Whoever they-
Who do you go with 3, Maddox? What's your power ranking?
Who was it?
I said Warriors. Moats is right. He did say they were 2 and 3, and I didn't know about that at the time.
What game was it? Who were the Warriors playing?
They lost to ADR. Your favorite team.
I was gonna go with Warriors.
He doesn't like that. Warriors at 3, so he agrees.
You have to.
The good news though is if you have anything from this team still entering the fall, you're gonna have a force to be reckoned with, Ross.
I believe we might have something like that. Chill, bro.
Sit down and enjoy the show, bro.
We're not having
Number
football-
2 on the
we're not having
countdown.
football field.
Number 2 on the countdown is
Is that all we're getting?
Broadax. Huh?
Is that what we're getting?
Yeah.
We talked about every team so far. Warriors get number 3.
Do you want me to talk about? Okay, let me go on some more about you guys. First and foremost, if you have Justin Fox back at quarterback, that's awesome. If you can find someone to throw to Justin Fox, that's great. Snavely actually showed me he could play ball on a certain level this year. He just against certain defenses ran into issues. Like program, he ran into issues.
He had a touchdown after we took him from the QB
He did.
spot.
He did. He played wide out, and he did get it. He got a questionable touchdown because I couldn't tell what happened on that play because that was something interesting.
If Ty goes to the offensive guy, touchdown Cody Smith.
Well,
And
that's
how
facts.
The rule is, so that's why we got a touchdown.
No, that's true. That's very true. But at the same time, you know yourself that was an interesting play. That was
It
something.
interesting, that's for sure.
Yeah, because even on commentary I said interception because I was like,
It's what
easy.
makes the game of football great, man. I love it.
But saying it like this, though, the Warriors, you guys, honestly, if you can go and keep Justin around a quarterback, that's a big move. But if you can find someone who can throw to him, I think Snavely could get a job done, but I feel like against certain defenses, he'd run into a
I
buzzsaw.
think with more practice,
But if he grows-
Snavely throwing to Justin Fox, certain timing routes and stuff like
Ooh, big
that,
facts.
is crucial.
That is crucial. If you guys can get some practice down in the summertime, you can evolve Cody the way you evolve Shobe, you might have something.
It's early, man.
It's very
Season
early. You're
just
right.
ended.
It did. But I'm saying number 3 for the Warriors.
I'm good with that.
Good season, Ross.
Thank you, sir.
You guys impressed me this year.
I want Warriors.
You want Immortals? Is that what you said?
We're not even talking about KFC.
Number 2, Broad Axe.
What?
Here's the bad news. The secondary struggled, and the defense was just exploited.
If that defense was better, though.
If that defense was better, the pass rush was great. Don't get me wrong. That pass rush was still ace. But that secondary struggled a lot. And they got torched over top. And that's why they lost the ADR game. The second one was because they just could not stop being torched in the secondary. And Boone took advantage of that in that game.
Yep.
The good news is, though, is that they reached a championship and still have somewhat of a core that they had in their 2017 championship team. They just need time to develop this new talent they have, and they have a fighting chance this fall. They got Kevin Clancy at QB. They had Kayvon Carter come out there and be just an absolute standout all season. They got those veterans, like I mentioned. They still got Tom. They still got Ridenauer. They have Nate show up from time to time. They have Big Mike still. They have Zeke still. Joey still. They still got a lot of that core still together. It's not like a majority of it's gone. They still have close to what they had in that fall. If they can get
the other playmaker guy, what's his name?
Who are you referring to?
Frost guy.
That's very specific.
The guy with the hair.
I mentioned him earlier. You didn't hear me.
What's his name?
Kayvon Carter.
Yeah, him.
Yeah, I mentioned
They
him.
keep him too. You did?
Yeah,
Okay.
he was the first guy I said.
You're right.
Pay attention to my. You're watching. Are you watching the show?
I had to deal with the kid, bro.
I know. He's a wild one tonight.
But yeah, they keep him for real though. Seriously.
No, big
He's
facts.
he's a playmaker, man.
Oh my God, he had that big touchdown in the playoffs.
Yep.
A number 1, adrenaline rush.
Yay.
The bad news for ADR is that the season is finally over. You guys have to no longer destroy teams in this league. In fact, ADR is over in this league.
Yay.
That was the news that dropped on Tuesday. Was that ADR was done in the Washington County Flag Football League.
Yeah.
After
And it's been a frenzy.
it has been quite the frenzy since that day.
Yay.
Are you happy that they're out of the league, Maddox?
Yes.
Well, I got some bad news.
What?
They're coming to Maffle instead. But they're going to be playing on your field this fall in different teams. ADR ain't going to die. They're still alive. He has the most terrified look on his face right now.
Dude,
Oh my gosh.
We're probably,
Man, you got to come on camera with that look on your face. You look like you're terrified.
we're probably going to be going down the map with them, man. So get used to it, kid.
You got to learn. He's got to get over his AFN fandom. That's what it is.
That's exactly what it is.
He's still an AFN fan at heart, and I get it.
Loves AFN.
I get
I
it.
like AFN too.
But Ross, this free agent frenzy thing has just been nuts, bro.
It has been a little bit crazy, Joey.
You think about it, and what is this league going to look like in the fall once we have the X-Dogs coming back?
I don't know about all this stuff going on.
Hold on a second, fellas.
Okay, you're fine. Brother.
Can you hear me?
You're fine. I can hear you perfectly.
All right. What's going on with y'all?
First and foremost, what has happened? First one,
We're just chilling, but looking at ADR, Chris, you guys are finally finished for the WCFFL as a team. Now, is this a permanent thing, or is this just for this season? What's going on exactly?
It's just for the fall. We took a little vote in our team page to see if guys wanted to play in Maffle, Washington County, or both. We've had some guys pick both, but the majority voted to go to Maffle. So that's what we're gonna try to do. It'd be hard playing in both. So we're just gonna play in Maffle this fall. I know some guys still want to play in Washington County, so they're reaching out to some teams and to get out there.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to seeing exactly what they do with these teams. A lot. Where are you heading to, Chris? That's my one question. What is going on in the Chris Boone end of things?
On my end, we got so many tournaments and everything coming up. I mean, we got I think 3 in July, a couple in August, and then with playing 8-man and going to Maffle, just a lot of traveling. So I might make an appearance in Washington County for a game or two, and maybe playoffs, depending on what my schedule is.
Okay. So it'll be based on your schedule, and do you have a team in mind yet?
No, I don't. I know a lot of teams are reaching out to all our players. I don't want to have to be on a team where I'd have to be there every week, because I'm just not going to be able to do it. So, when you play the quarterback position, if you're not there every week, it's hard for them to build chemistry and do all that kind of stuff. So it'd be nice to have go to a team that at least has a quarterback that can get things done for the weeks that I wouldn't be there. So I guess, but it's way too early. I mean, we just won the championship. We got all summer to get ready for fall. So I think we're just concentrating on our 8-man tournaments and the York 9-man tournament.
Speaking of those tournaments coming up, the 8-man one, Chris, what is that one? If you want to give any details about that for anybody interested, potentially.
Yes, it is actually in Fairfax. It's a $1,000 cash prize. Really good competition. There'll be a lot of the teams from around the state of Virginia, which usually has the best 8-man teams come out of VA. So for anybody who wants to get into it, I'll post it on the page once I get the it's actually July 27th, I think. It's just a one-day tournament. You go down, play 2 round-robin games. Then you got a single elimination playoffs at the end of the day. So it's a lot of fun. It's hot. It's on turf. It's pretty brutal, but a lot of fun.
Especially in July when it can get up pretty fast.
Yeah, I think we played there last year. I think we took 20 people, and by the time we got to the championship game, I think we was down to 13 players. I mean, just the heat, that many games, it takes its toll on you playing 8-man. It's more speed, a lot more up and down.
Especially when you're 50 years old, doesn't it?
Yeah. That and I'm old. But actually, I finished today, so it wasn't me.
You mentioned the other tournaments coming up, Albany and York.
We're not going to do Albany. I've got some offers to go to Albany. If something pans out for me trip-wise, I might make an appearance down there. But I won't know until over the weekend for sure. The other tournament is the York, PA. We're going to go down. We're going to enter into that. Go down, try to get some money. Start saving up for nationals because it's around the corner.
Yeah, January. We're halfway through the year. It's coming up. You're going to need that national money for certain. Other plans going on for ADR this summer?
Well, so August 3rd and 4th, we're going to a national tournament by, I think it's the USTFFL or whatever. We're going to go down, play an 8-man and 7-man.
Okay.
So we're trying to get ranked in that also through that division, and that'll be the first time we'll take our 8-man team into that. So
expansion into the 7-man game now.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, we're gonna start getting into some 7-man. So we really got a lot going on between now and the fall. So I think that's why a lot of guys were just trying to go ahead and get on a team, so they're situated and they don't have to worry about it all summer.
Yeah, and it's true because that does sound pretty busy, and I'm pretty impressed by the way you guys travel and the dedication you all have to the game, the way you play it. You guys are true students of the games too. You guys know the game, whether it be 8-man or even 9-man you've crossed over into. And I'm impressed by what you guys do over there at Adrenaline Rush. Proud of you guys for winning the championship again this season.
Thank you.
What a dominant season you had, Chris Boone. I mean, what was the final margin? 31-4 on points per game?
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, and for us to drive an hour and a half after getting done playing, 8-man games and stuff like that, I mean, that's just unreal. We play 8-man on Sundays, up there on Saturdays, our weekends, guys are tired, and we still make that trip and we still perform, whether we got 11 guys or 22 guys. So that's credit to all of them. They all, Chili said it best on the page. He was talking about every player needs a role. And if you get 20 role players that are willing to play wherever is asked of them before the game. I mean, you take Chili. He played left tackle, center, right tackle, tight end, left end, right end, and nose tackle. So this guy played 7 positions for us, and you didn't hear him complain one time. Didn't say anything. Went out and played his heart out at the whole game, every game. So if you get guys like that, you're going to win games.
Yeah. And that's the key to success and winning. And you guys have done it better than anybody else have in the last 2 seasons. We go back all the way to when you first joined the league, Chris, 2017, that fall season. You weren't there for that TMT Spring 17, but you did watch a few games yourself. You saw how that was.
I came down, and TJ kept telling me, he's like, hey, man, come down, watch our games, let us know how we're doing, this and that. And I said, TJ, if I come down here and play and I bring our 8-man style, these teams ain't going to know what to do with it. And he just kind of giggled. He goes, you sure? I go, I promise you, they won't know what to do. Every team was copying Broadax at that time. Every week I watched, everybody wanted to go tight end, running back, a couple little outs, screens, fullback up the middle. Everybody was doing the same thing. So I knew immediately if I brought something different, it was going to take guys a while to adjust to it. And
it took the league by storm. You averaged 29.9 points per game, almost 30 that first season.
Yeah.
Running a 2-quarterback system, which
Yep.
a lot of people said was just a gimmick backyard 8-man game.
Yeah.
But that worked out pretty well for you guys. You averaged almost 30 a game that first season. What was the biggest learning curve for you, though, going to 9-man that's first fall season? Because you ran into some challenges along the way. X-Dogs was the biggest one that got you in the semifinal.
Yeah, it's when you play with 8-man linemen trying to play 9-man, if you get out there and it's a mud game and it becomes just a physical battle game, if you're an 8-man style, it hurts. So that was our biggest thing, adjusting. So what we had to do was we had to do more quick plays versus, the beginning of when I first started 9-man, we threw everything downfield. Every pass was 40 yards or 50 yards. And then when you get in bad weather games, situational football, you can't always do that. So we had to improve, learn how to do screens, me running the ball more, even when it's not called, just run up the middle every once in a while to keep everybody honest. Do screens, got to move the DBs up, the safeties up, because everybody started playing us 30 yards deep. So we had to adjust our game quite a bit.
Yeah, and you guys did evolve your game over time. That's the one thing about ADR is that you guys have evolved ever since that 2017 team you first joined. That 2018 spring squad showed that growth and changeover immediately. In fact, way before that even, the Hagerstown tournament that fall. People forget you guys won your first ever A bracket tournament.
Yeah, and it's funny. We won that. I mean, Cody was telling you to leave the field.
Yeah, I remember.
He was telling you to leave the field. It was over. So, and that's another way we adjusted. So we ended up doing a little bit of 9-man football and 8-man football. So we started changing the plays up. I mean, because we had to improve too. We couldn't keep doing the same plays over and over, and it worked. People going to adjust to us just like we adjust to them. So that was a big adjustment for us, trying to learn the 9-man game, as we play. And now, if you look on the circuit, even in A football, teams are double passing like crazy now. So just our influence on A ball and B ball and 9-man it's showing every tournament you go to.
Are you reading this comment section, Chris?
I'm not. I'm not.
Cuzzo says, him and you to the Misfits in the fall.
Hey, him and me. Well, me and Cuz have been texting, so I don't know. I don't know about the fall yet. Like I said, we got a lot of tournaments and a lot of things going on before we get to the fall.
For sure, for sure. We got a big summer ahead, actually, that we're going to talk about later on. There's going to be a lot happening.
Yeah.
You mentioned that tournament you're having on the 3rd and 4th. Any word on Shippensburg for you guys?
Shippensburg. When is that?
10th and 11th, Summer Sizzler.
Of August?
Yes.
Oh, snap. That'd be 4 weekends in a row we'd be at a tournament. So that's guess that's something we'll have to put in the group and see if we can draw enough guys. I mean, we might even have to reach out to the page and to the league if there's enough people interested in doing it, and Damien and most of our captains are willing to do it. That's something we could look into.
For sure. I mean, it'd be cool to see you guys up there and play once more before you end up going to Maffle. Which, speaking of which, are you willing to talk about the Maffle move tonight, or are you willing to wait on that a little bit?
I mean, right now we're we got a handful of guys that want to go. We really want to go, so I've actually reached out to a lot of the 8-man guys we play throughout the state with that actually live down that way and are willing to play with us down there. So, so I'm thinking right now we have a solid 16. We're going to try to get that number up to about 26, though, because, over the summer people travel. Over the fall, right back to school, kids are in sports. So we got to make sure we have numbers for when people miss games, because it's going to happen.
Yeah. Is there any team in particular you're looking forward to facing the most?
Not really. I mean, we really just want to play them all. I mean, there's
There's a lot of great competition down there. It's going to be interesting to see how you guys fare coming out of Washington County, where you have been absolutely dominant outside of those 2 games, the X-Dogs, and, of course, the team that gave you that championship loss, the Affiliates, who you'll be playing in the Maffle League this fall, which...
I mean, but who knows? They got so many teams, you might not even play them in the regular season.
May not. But if it happens...
But if it happens, I'll be
down there, sir.
Oh, good. We'd like to have you anyways. If they don't have the Washington County games, we'd like for you to travel down there with us. Because I think they do double hitters. So all our games would be double hitters down there.
It would be an honor to go down there.
Yep.
But we'll talk about that later on as this summer goes by, because we still got a lot of ways to go before we hit fall season. That's the thing. It's going to be a wild summer ahead for flag football and football in general in this area.
Oh yeah, there's so much going on. Like I said, there's so many. There's tournaments all over the place this summer. So I suggest all these teams in Washington County start getting in some of them. If you want to improve and you want to get better, get in some of them. Or if you need somewhere to practice, come down, play 8-man in Winchester. We'll set you up double hitter games where you only come down and play every other weekend. If you're going to practice over the summer, why not make it games? Why not come down and make it real? So get in touch with me. You come down, you actually learn a different style of football, and it'll help you for 9-man. So it's a win-win.
And that's the thing. I think we talked this a few weeks ago. People forget that those multiple styles of football, you can learn so much and apply into other variations of it. You guys took 8-man and brought it to 9-man.
Yeah.
And you found success in this league on it, and you've ended up getting a good amount of circuit wins out of it on the A level.
Yeah, it's huge. Like I said, first year we got a bracket championship. So, after what we did a couple weekends ago at Virginia Beach, I mean, it's real exciting over here at ADR. I mean, we're excited, and we can't wait for the tournaments to come up.
I can't wait as well. It's going to be really intriguing to see what you guys do this summer, and of course what you do in Maffle. Any final thoughts on the spring season, Chris? Who do you think, if any team, can take over the mantle for you guys in terms of champions come this fall?
You're going to have to beat Broad Axe. I mean, if you want to win the championship up there, you got to go through Broad Axe at some point. You know, Tom's got, especially if Clancy stays. I mean, you got a champion playing quarterback for your team. So to get through a championship, you're going to have to beat them. I mean, they've been the most consistent team in that league for how long, Joey? How long have they been on top? You know.
Oh my gosh, Broad Axe, team of the decade, easily. Like I said earlier, since 2012 was when that run got really, really intense.
Yeah.
And they're a dynasty, and they're a franchise that goes back in this league all the way to 1992.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're going to win in that league, you got to go through them. Ruckus is always, they're always physical. They're always tough. Program's always physical. They're always tough. And the Warriors are always tough. I mean, all of them got strong D lines, good secondaries, good O line. The problem is quarterback play for all those teams. So that's
so.
Yeah, that's why I suggest bring those guys down, let them play 8-man. If the program wants to keep Adam at quarterback, come down, play 8-man. Let him learn to get the ball out of his hands quick slants, outs, drags, slide. Learn to play 8-man because it's so much faster. It would improve his 9-man game. Same thing with Ruckus. If they're going to go with Renner or anybody like that, I suggest they play ball all summer long. Fall's going to come up quick, so they got to improve.
Speaking of my thoughts earlier on Steven Renner, do you feel like he stood out the most of all the other quarterbacks outside of you and Clancy this season? 6-2 was his record, 75% winning percentage for him. That was actually second in the league, as I mentioned earlier.
It is. I mean, he's got to learn to make the throws. I mean, eventually you're not just going to be able to run around, and your defense ain't going to always get you stops and put you in position. I mean, you got to think how good their defense was. Their defense really led to their offense. Getting stops, short fields, they're kicking field goals. So, not to take away from him, but the dude just don't play quarterback all the time. So, that's tough. Anytime you're not really a quarterback, but you're forced into playing quarterback, it's not the easiest thing.
Yeah, it happens, and that's one of the things that a lot of teams I feel like are going to be looking at this year is that quarterback position, because there needs to be a new class of QBs in the league just to push competition, I feel like.
I agree. I mean, right now, like I said, if Adrenaline Rush is out and Clancy stays with Broad Axe, what quarterback's going to challenge them? Because eventually you're going to need to score. You're not going to beat Broad Axe 7-0 or 3-0. You got to score points because Clancy's going to score.
Absolutely, and he's got that championship pedigree on top of it. He and Broad Axe are a perfect match for each other, and I feel like that's going to really boost that team going into next season.
Yeah, he fits their style. I mean, he's just. Like the previous quarterbacks, he has that same build. He can make all the throws. He can throw it deep. He calls good plays. So he's their style quarterback, and they're going to be near the top, for a while. So these other teams got to improve if they're going to challenge them.
Yeah,
but
I absolutely agree.
As far as what happened on Sunday, when they lined up to kick that field goal, my dumb ass yelled out on the field, was like, "Hey, what's the score?" And the dude looked right at me, and he told me we was up 12. And I told my guys, like, "Hey, everybody keep quiet."
That's what I was thinking. I was saying on a commentary, it was 19-7 is what was going on.
Yeah. Yep. So I was telling my guys to keep it quiet because we was all asking, like our whole sideline. When they said field goal, I mean, we was like, what the hell is going on? We thought it was a fake. So you seen our guys, we have 4 guys back up to the end zone. So, I mean, I just didn't. So that's why I was wondering when Clancy said that somebody told him it was 11 points. That's why I asked what ref, because we asked the referee. And
Yeah.
He said,
they told us it was 12. So
Nancy said it wasn't a ref. He told me.
Yeah, 'cause I said it wasn't a ref, so I don't.
okay,
So
gotcha.
who did tell Clancy?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, I'll admit, sometimes that scoreboard gets like. I look at the results on Tuesday after I'm watching the games on Sunday, and I'm like, that wasn't the score I said out loud.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know what it was, but I mean, for Adrenaline Rush to win that championship on Sunday, that was honestly, I don't know how guys made it through that day. I mean, we played 4 8-man games on Saturday. I pulled my groin, and I strained. I did something to my Achilles. I ain't been able to work yet this week, so I haven't been able to move. I'm barely walking. So and I know you seen like J-Mo when he caught that long ball and got pulled it to 1. I mean, he was down on the ground. I mean, we had
Yeah.
our Beard. He left the game halfway through the Warriors game, so we had our D line and O line playing both ways. Our DBs were playing both. Like everybody's playing both ways after playing 4 games. I don't even know how we pulled it out, to be honest with you, because we didn't even warm up before the Warriors game because guys didn't have no energy. There was literally there was nothing left. Like Coley had he broke a bone in his foot. He's got a bone sticking out the side of his foot. So I don't even know how he played because he couldn't even walk home Saturday night.
Yikes.
So yeah, and
Coley balled out too. 2 interceptions in that
Yeah.
Warriors game, including the pick 6 he had on Snavely.
yeah, exactly. But like I said, people don't notice that he was leaving that Broadax game every other play because he gave everything he had. So I really don't know how we even pulled that out. Sean coming for the championship game and Lance coming the last 6 minutes of that Warriors game was just huge for us because I really don't know what we could have done at that point going into the championship game with everybody playing both ways. After everybody playing 4 games yesterday.
That was big for them, too.
Yeah, they got the depth
I
they
remember
needed.
looking up and being like, shit, Lance.
Yeah, he showed up with like 6 minutes left. So that was
Started moving my feet.
Better late than never.
yeah, that's huge. So that's amazing how we even pulled it out with guys just falling out and not playing. Like I said, we didn't even warm up before the Warriors game. I think I threw 4 passes. Guys didn't even want to run routes because everybody was already hurt. We just tried to save as much energy as we could, and that's one thing we actually did learn from that AFN loss in the spring. We played the back-to-back, and AFN, nobody remembers, but AFN almost lost the program that game. They were running the ball, just getting through the game. They wasn't throwing no bombs. They wasn't doing nothing special. They won by a field goal, and then they came out against us. They was throwing 40-yard bombs up and down the field. So we tried to take their method. We knew guys were playing both ways. We was like, just don't give up the big play. Don't give up the touchdown. Offensively, try to just keep the ball long enough to let the defense rest. So the Warriors played hard as shit. They were pumped up. They were pumped up.
Ready?
They came to play for certain.
Yeah, I mean that's credit to them. I mean them guys they played hard as hell. They definitely didn't want to. They didn't want to lose. They didn't play to lose. That's for sure. They played hard. But I think once they tied it at 13, some of the receivers looked at me and they're like, "All right, let's just go down the field." So then we had to call our plays, and then on defense, Dame called me and said, "Hey, go ahead and come in, just spy Fox. Let's get this game over with and get out of here." Because like I said, there were so many guys hurting. There wasn't a lot we could do. I know I couldn't have spied Fox the whole game. So Dame used me right when he needed me, and we got out of there with the win. So, and then Sean showed up, and we went. I mean, everybody ran hard against Broadax.
Oh my gosh, you guys turned it up to a whole other level in that first half. Like it was
Yeah.
ADR woke up in that fourth quarter. I feel like
Yeah, I mean,
the sense of urgency kicked in.
yeah, it did. I mean, guys were running on E. I mean, I know when I went over on offense and me and two of the receivers were sitting there, they looked at me and it's like, hey, we got to do this in 4 plays, 4 to 5 plays. We can't do 10, 12 plays because you do 10, 12 plays, those guys, they might have a couple post routes in there, or drag routes. It's a 40-yard drag from one end of the field to the other. So they said, man, we got to get the ball downfield and get this damn game over with because we couldn't even celebrate after the game. Guys were we were drained, man. That was one of the hardest weekends I've had in a long time.
I can
For
imagine.
sure.
Definitely, for sure. Like that's a long weekend to have, and to come out with 2 championships.
Two
good.
championships makes it a little better.
You got any trophies on you?
Huh?
You got any of the trophies on you?
No, I don't. I usually, I don't really keep them. What I do on, in our 8-man team, what I do is me and Mouse usually get the first one, and then we pass it down to whoever's been with us the longest. So that's how they get the trophy. But I'm not sure what Damien did with the ADR trophy. I know CJ got one, and I guess Damien got this one. So we'll see what they do with the next ones going forward.
All right. Maybe we'll see it later on. We'll find out. Yeah, a lot of good things going for you right now, Chris Boone. A lot of good things to look forward to as well this summer. What a spring.
Yeah.
What a spring.
It was, hey, we wouldn't even had a spring if we didn't get that location. So give credit to Tom for getting us that field, man. That was awesome. Like I said, if we'd have played on grass, they would have just had to cancel the whole season. We wouldn't have had one.
That's right.
Absolute big facts. Without that, we don't play at all. And
Turf field came in handy.
that turf field was absolute clutch, and I feel like it allowed a lot of our guys to play the game a bit differently themselves because some of those guys never played on turf.
Yeah, exactly. So turf is our forte. That's what most 8-man things are. Most all of them are on turf. Any tournament or style that you go to like that's always on turf. So
As if they weren't good enough before.
Ross over here complaining about how it gave you all the advantage.
it did. It really did. Joey, I think we talked about this beginning of the year. I said, oh, shit, they gave us turf. I mean, we're not going to lose.
No, you didn't. You guys didn't lose at all this season, and every game was almost dominant. So there were 2 close calls you had against Broad Axe and Warriors this year, but other than that, it wasn't close. The only other team that actually gave you a close fight on terms of scoreboard was Railroaders by 13, which was an odd game.
Yeah, well, like I said, I mean, that was a day that a lot of guys sat out against the Railroaders too because we was beat up from the weekend before. We had another 8-man thing the weekend before, so I know most of our receivers and everything sat out of that one. Plus, it poured down raining.
Yeah.
So
that was every week. I felt like though.
It was, and I'm actually glad it did because it let us learn to call plays. Especially for me, play calling changes when you get to play in pouring down rain. You can't just bomb it downfield. So, things change. So I actually enjoyed that part of it, playing in some weather games and stuff like that.
Yeah. And I enjoyed it too. I think this was overall a great season to be a part of. I enjoyed being up in Greencastle. They were a great host to us.
Yeah.
Hopefully there's going to be but there could be other places we can go to.
We should have just moved over to the big field on Sunday, man.
I wish we played the big field Sunday. That would have been excellent.
That would have been awesome.
Maybe we can talk them into that next year.
That would have been awesome.
I mean,
big field, under the lights maybe.
Yeah. Oh man, that'd be great. I mean, when we used to travel for 8-man, it was always during the week. We always played under the lights at like 9 and 10 o'clock at nighttime. So.
I actually think I went to one of those leagues once, Chris, way back 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Did it happen to be a league that took place on a baseball field?
Yes. Yep.
Yes, I went there 4 years ago to scout for survivors. Fun fact,
really?
We went down there scouting, and I met TJ there for the first time.
Yeah.
Ever. He was officiating.
Yeah, he helped us ref because he ran. So what we did is to keep the league fees low. all the captains of the teams had to help official referee games to keep the league fee down. So
I remember that. He mentioned that to us.
yeah, so we got to play out in the lights. I mean, that shit was awesome. People loved it.
Yeah, it was under the lights, and on top of that, like it was out there in the outfield. You all had the outfield, and I remember you all were running those routes on the curve, and it was throwing me off so much because I was
Yeah.
not used to seeing it. I never seen 8-man before that. It was my cousin Daniel telling me about 8-man and all that down there, like all these athletes down there. We got to get these guys up here, and I'm like, we got to, but we got to check them out first. And I saw 8-man, I was like, this is weird, but I don't know if they're going to play 9-man well.
Yeah, well, it turns out,
guys
yeah.
play really
How's that
well.
change? I mean, 8-man. What other people don't understand, 8-man is an 80-yard field.
Yeah.
They only play 80 yards. It's not the full 100. They do that because you want more scoring and stuff like that. So they only do an 80-yard field.
Which makes sense. It makes sense for that kind of game. At the
Right.
time, I wasn't sure how well it adjusts, but it translates pretty well from what I've seen.
Yeah, it worked out, didn't it? I knew I got a
Yeah.
lot of hate. I mean, we came out and played Top Gun my very first game, and I think we only scored 3 touchdowns, and a lot of guys were over in the corner yelling, "Take that 8-man stuff back to Winchester. It'll never work." But you got to see different styles of football to learn what works. So you can pick up a lot of stuff from all different levels, even 7-man. So, ADR made the best of it.
Yeah. And you guys will continue to find success in the 9-man game.
Yeah.
Definitely, I feel like in the 7-man game, you're trying to expand out to now. It's going to really help you all out. Learning different styles is
Yes.
key, I feel like, to winning in the top level of 9-man.
Oh, definitely. I mean, just especially for a quarterback. So 7 and 8-man, the ball's got to come out quicker. Plays got to happen faster. So your eyes got to develop. So you're learning route running. You get on timing with your receivers and stuff like that. So it really helps you for 9-man.
Yeah, I fully agree. And I look forward to seeing you guys again in the 9-man field, whether it's a tournament or whether it's going to be up in county or maybe even in Maffle.
Yeah, I mean we're definitely going to Maffle from our group messages and the votes. We're definitely going there. You might see some of us pop up in Washington County, but we'll be back in Washington County come spring.
Spring has confirmed?
Yeah, I mean I'm pretty sure we're going to play. I mean we're just going to do the Maffle in the fall, this fall. So we're going to, we're not leaving this league forever. We just want, I think our main goal was to go down and see some of the teams that are going to be at nationals. That's our goal, and that's why we want to go to Maffle. That way we are ready come January. Washington County's, it's fun. I have a lot of good friends there, but when you play there, you pick up bad habits, and then when you go to tournaments, if you play the way you play in Washington County, you're going to go home early on Sunday.
I agree, and I feel like you guys are a team that we can aspire to try to beat. That team can aspire to be as good as.
Right.
And I feel like they're going to miss playing you on the field in the fall, but in the springtime, they're going to be ready and motivated.
Yeah, exactly. So that gives everybody
And I
their
feel like
little.
you guys going to other teams, splitting up, and everything else allows them to learn from other players too. It allows everybody to grow in the process.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah, like I said, I mean, if you get somebody on your team like a Damien or an AJ, even Coley, those guys that play their position, I mean, they're some of the best in the whole state at what they do. If you get one of them on your team and you're willing to actually learn from them guys, your game will go up. You'll get so much better. So,
Exactly.
it's definitely worth picking up those guys.
And I feel like in the end, it can really help benefit everybody else in the process. Everybody else gets to work with each other. That makes connections for tournaments. It makes connections for playing with each other in other leagues and everything else like that. Make friends. That's the biggest statement I always used to hear from Andy whenever we played kickball. Right now is the time to make friends and bring us these free agents because it's going to be an interesting fall ahead for certain.
Oh, yeah. Fall. I mean, I'm going to be watching. Like I said, I'll even come down there and watch on my weekends off from Maffle and stuff like that. So I'll definitely be down there checking everything out and watching and stuff like that. So, um, what's up with your team? You gonna have your survivors ready by spring next year? Or what?
I've been getting a lot of people wanting me to bring the survivors back, including my own cousin,
Yeah.
as far back as the last couple months. And it's curious because nobody, I don't think I told anybody this. This was my 10th season I did this past spring.
Okay.
And come this fall, it'll mark 5 years since I started Survivors and joined this league.
Oh wow.
So
Wow.
it's interesting. Everybody keeps bringing this up as I keep putting this 5-year anniversary thing coming up.
There you go.
I think I'll be ready for the spring, Chris.
Yeah.
Will you be ready for the spring?
I've already gave you my word. If you start a team and you're gonna coach it, and ADR is not playing in that league, I'm 100% with you.
I'll let you know. We got to get through the summer and the fall.
Yeah, you got the summer and the fall, so
We got a nice, interesting year ahead in football. That's for certain.
yep.
We still got Nationals. We got Hagerstown. We got a lot going on.
Yeah. Hagerstown's gonna be interesting too. That's always a good tournament. See what teams come down and enter in that. But that's why I said a lot of these teams, the Ruckus, the programs, those teams that play. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. You cut out.
Okay. Yeah, I cut out for a second. So that's why I tell a lot of them guys, come down and play 8-man. Yep.
I agree. I think it helped them out big time. But anyway, Chris, thank you for joining us once more.
Hey, thank you,
Glad to
buddy.
have you on here on Blunt Talk.
Yes, sir.
We look forward to seeing you again in the future. We might have you on once in a while just to check in on County, give your thoughts and insight.
Like I said, I'll definitely be watching the games. Anytime you need me, just let me know. I'm always willing to talk. So y'all have a good night. All right, Ross. All right, Joey. Y'all take it easy.
You too, Boone.
Peace.
See you, bud.
Peace out. Try to exit out. There we go. I have a request to join the call. Joe Aluzzi. Would Joe, but I have another guest I'm trying to bring on. If I can get him actually. But Ross, we just talked to Chris Boone.
Yes, we did.
What were your thoughts on what Boone was saying earlier?
I like Boone. I can dig it.
Yeah?
Yep.
You going to play 8-man anytime soon, Ross?
8-man?
Yeah, bud. He says he's encouraging everybody to play 8-man. You going to play 8-man too?
I feel like he wasn't encouraging quite everybody to play 8-man.
I think, dude, you can do it. For real.
To play 8-man?
Yeah. I feel like you learn the style, man. Talk to him about it.
What, to play center?
You can play, yeah. Maybe you can play something else. Maybe you can learn to play quarterback. You can learn from Boone. Maybe you can be a younger Chris Boone. That's just me throwing ideas out at you. But yeah, ADR this year, what a season they had.
I could be a quarterback, but let's be honest.
You could be?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
Why don't you go play quarterback for the Warriors next season?
Which Warriors?
The
fake 8-man Warriors?
the fake 8-man Warriors? Are you making a shot? Are you making a call out in this right now? Is that what's going on? Are you calling out the Warriors that Top Gun lost to over the weekend? Once again, Top Gun loses to the Warriors. Hey, shout out to Top Gun for playing 8-man on Saturday in that tournament. I was really happy to read that on Facebook. Really great to see an old team back together. But ADR, what a year. And we're not done talking ADR yet. I'm sorry for everybody who wants to hear about other stuff. We're going to get to that soon. We got a lot to talk about still after this. Like I said, Ross, we got a long summer ahead. But first, we're still wrapping up what happened in the spring. ADR league champion once again, defeating Broad Axe. I ultimately.
Joey, what's good?
Headphones, CJ. Actually, no, it's good. I can't hear me, so it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we good. This is perfect. Sounds awesome.
Keep my attention. What up, Joey?
Nothing much, Cannon. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. First time, first appearance.
First appearance. No, we had you on last year.
Second.
Yeah, ADR Championship celebration last year.
In the flesh.
Welcome.
We had him out in the garage.
We had him out in the garage. Yeah, Melvin. We would love to have you over
definitely.
again tonight. You now being a warrior and all of that.
Yeah, I live too far. I gotta stay on this side till football time and practice.
I completely understand that. How is the recovery going, first and foremost?
Like 80%.
80%?
Back. Yeah, for now. Oh shit. I gotta wait. I gotta wait till I get my brace and then go from there.
When do you think that might be?
Well, sometime in July I'll get the brace. Yeah, I'm hearing this thing twice. That's why I'm like trying to find it.
What's up?
I'm hearing it twice. Like my phone is playing it back to back. Like I'm saying something and my voice is coming back later on. Like it's echoing.
Yeah. If you have a pair of headphones, try to go ahead and grab some.
All right.
It's all good. It's all good. We have this happen like every week at least. But yeah, ADR in the run they had has been absolutely impressive. And he's out. Okay. But we're going to get back to him in a moment as soon as he gets that situated. It happens. But going back to Cannon, the injury happened. I was there for it. It was in Gettysburg, PA last summer, the Summer Classic, quote unquote, when Cannon got hurt going up for a ball at a touchdown against, I believe it was the Killer Bees. And it's a shame because he's missed the entire run over the last year. He's had to watch it from the sidelines. He missed nationals. A lot of football miss. It'd be great to see him recover. I'm hoping he's on the recovery path right now.
I personally can't wait for Cannon's return.
I know you can't wait. I know you're excited for this. Because of the fact that you now have him on the Warriors. It's just going to be a question of when it comes to when are you going to be able to bring him back. Because adding Cannon in there is just a major grab, especially when you consider you got Justin Fox in there too in that receiving core. It's quite an interesting duel to have.
Yup.
As we get Cannon. Show. At least Facebook's adding him back in. If we can get it back in. Just quick. And welcome back.
All right, we back on.
But anywho, like I was mentioning to Ross, your return this year, you're going to be playing for the Warriors. My question is, why the Warriors of all team?
I like what they got going on. I didn't want to go to like one of them top teams that like had a lot of players. You know what I mean? Like I didn't want to. I just want to just play in the next little spot. That's all. I feel like they needed help. I could bring like, let's say, help coach a little bit. Not really coach, but guide some of the players. They're in the right direction.
I think so as well.
100% agree with that.
What is the thing you look forward to the most in doing for the Warriors?
I want to take my time for real. Like my main priority will be ADR and playing in Maffle, but the times I feel good, how my knee feels, I don't want to put a lot of pressure on it. You know, coming back from that is something serious. So I would do special teams, start from there. To be honest with you.
I feel like that would be a good way to get started out, especially as you recover from the injury.
Even with ADR, I'm gonna start off on special teams. I'm not coming back trying to get my position back. Like I feel like there's some guys that have stepped up. They put up numbers, so I'd be selfish if I thought that I could just get my spot back like that.
I agree, and honestly, I like the humility and I like the sentiment. That's a good way to go about it, especially as you're recovering. We don't know what you got coming back. I'm hoping that you're still the same Cannon you were
What are you talking?
back last year and the year. And I think we lost him again. But he's been an effective player. He's been a very effective player. He is. Welcome back, Cannon.
My fault. That's that inward connection.
Inward connection.
Yeah, that's
No.
all it is.
But as mentioned, the impact you had on the field in those first couple seasons for ADR Cannon, you were an absolute beast out there. Ranked very highly up there in touchdown receptions in the league. You were hard to stop, especially coming through there. Tell me about when you first joined Nine Man, the biggest challenge for you coming onto the field.
I started as a running back when I'm playing 9-man. Like, it was different for me because I had just really gotten the swing of things with 8-man, but I started playing 9-man when it was TMT, when they had the purple shirts. And I didn't really play defense. I just played running back, and it was just hard. It helped me find holes. Like, playing Madden actually helped me play 9-man, to be honest with you. I was telling my yeah, because I would be like the franchise player, be the running back. So I just got to find the hole, and that kind of helped me out. And then just getting adjusted to running routes better, you know? Like, you're forced to run sharp routes. Like, 8-man is kind of more open, so it's really like mismatch on speed. 9-man is more like you got to have route running. I feel like that's a difference. That plays a major part. You want to create separation.
Yeah, I feel like 8-man stands out as its own style, whereas 9-man has close similarities to how the 11-man game is played on terms of route running and strategy and the usage of blockers, because you have more linemen down than you usually do than compared to 8-man, where you can send out the center, I believe, on a pass, correct?
Yeah, and that was a major thing for me because I didn't play high school. Well, I played 2 games of JV. That's about it. Before basketball season, I wasn't really into it. But so just playing anything other than 8-man was a challenge. Having a whole nother like that kind of takes away from the middle of the field being wide open for me. You know? And I had to learn how to run straight up the field. I used to run side to side. My teammates used to get on me about that.
Yeah. Looking at the success that you guys have had the last couple of seasons, Cannon, what are your overall thoughts on the growth of ADR since the time you joined when it was TNT? Because this team has radically changed since that first season under TJ back then. What are your thoughts on the changes that has gone on since, and your thoughts on ADR going forward?
Our demeanor, we've been humbled, so I feel like our demeanor is more or less like, let's learn. We want to win. We know what we got. We know we have the talent. I mean, we're running with these teams, so it's like at this point, it's really getting the numbers. That's strong. Getting the numbers and just trusting each other more. We trust each other, but just get more practices. You do that, we tend to have to use our game as practices because we all have different things we have going on. So that makes it hard when we still struggle with coming to games, like as far as like our main group. Like, we have a nice core that shows up, but sometimes it's summertime, so it's kind of hard for everybody to be at the same spot and dealing with injuries as well. So, I mean, I feel like we've improved a lot. I mean, we're just more hungry, you know? I think that's a big jump on why we want to move to Nashville because we're pretty hungry. We want to show that we can play with these top guys. Like, we respect the league. I mean, we appreciate all the players. I mean, shit, we all sacrifice and spend time with our family and stuff and use that time. So we're always all around each other. So it's like, now let's take it to another level and just get it get it in. I can't wait, man. I just want to get back on the field. You don't understand. I'm happy. Like, I'm happy. I'm happy they're still in good spirit. You know what I mean? For a second, things weren't looking too good. We got things back. You know I like it. I like it. It shows the perseverance. That's the word, perseverance. I think
Yeah.
perseverance. There we go. And yeah, I mean, I just can't wait to get out there.
And we can't wait to see you back out there, man. I feel like you can be an excellent addition on the Warriors, and I feel like you can still contribute to ADR. You were one of the guys back at the time, and I feel like you still can be once you get back on that field.
Yeah.
Looking ahead, what do you look forward to the most out of the rest of this year? 'Cause you
To
got a
get,
lot going on. Boom mentioned the schedule ADR had. It's pretty insane.
I know. I mean, I gotta watch it still. That's the problem. I thought
Yeah.
after this, all right, I could just wait till Hagerstown, but I gotta watch a couple more games. I gotta watch a lot of more tournaments. I actually like it. I see the game from a different point of view.
It helps out because let me tell you, being an observer allows you to learn more about the way the game is played
Hmm.
and about how each individual approaches the game.
Yeah,
That's where
and
you pick up on tendencies and traits.
exactly, exactly. That's the major
And
part.
yeah,
That's the
and
major
to
part.
me, I feel like that education is going to be really key to you when you get back onto the field come this fall or any time after that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I may not make it by Hagerstown. I mean, I want to make sure that I'm 100% before I get back out there. Like,
Absolutely, dude. You should pace yourself because of the fact that it's very important. That injury is something that you just don't mess with,
yeah,
and the position you play is one that's going to put that's a lot of stress in that part of the body. And going back out there after what happened is going to be something different. But I feel like you'll be able to recover enough that I get the feeling I'll be calling touchdown Cannon Hall once again.
I can't wait to hear it. I can't wait to hear it.
The
I
first
just want.
time it happens, it's gonna be a nice moment. I will say that. I'll be glad to call to play.
Yeah, appreciate it. I hope you're there. Okay.
I'll definitely be there for certain, and we're hoping to see you back on the field as well.
Yes, yes. Who knows? I mean, technically, it depends on how it is. You might see me in the Warriors jersey before the ADR jersey, but probably not. Who knows? It depends on how it falls. Because if we play Saturday, I might, suit up. Who knows? But I'm looking forward on that. I only got to wear the red jersey one time, so I can't wait to put that thing on.
Yeah, I remember.
I can't wait.
I can't wait too, man. We're excited to see you make the comeback.
So, so who do you feel is going to be the top team in Washington County?
Let's get to that at the very end of the show.
Okay, that works. That works. Got this
Yeah,
burn on my nose. See a sunburn?
I see it.
That's dedication in football, man.
So for being outside all weekend,
Yeah, long weekend, a lot of sun.
hey man, as long as you enjoyed yourself and always get the wins, that's what matters the most.
Yeah. Tyler says X Dogs.
Todd's got X Dogs. Ooh,
Standard. The standard. If that's the case, we might as well just go Broadax if that was the case, right?
Cam's
But
got Broad Axe, Boone's got Broad Axe, Tyler's got Dogs.
right now, it's up for a toss. Like I said, program has a good shot. If they could get their QB situation like situated, they'll be fine. They have a lot of weapons. Their defense is strong for the most
Yeah.
part. Ruckus is the same problem, but I think like program and Ruckus are in the same like I don't want to say it's in a disrespectful way or nothing, but like in like the same tier when it comes to like why they don't get over the hump. You know what I mean? They have talent. They're a good team. You can see you can see the team on the circuit just with the practice. You know what I mean? They can easily jump in the circuit, but I just feel like they don't have that quarterback, and I feel like that's why maybe Tyler says X Dog because they have a veteran quarterback. You know what I mean? I feel like the same thing happens with the Warriors. Like they get them a consistent quarterback that'll be coachable and whatever they got going on over there, boom, you see a different change because they just can't get over that hump, but they're always still like the top 14. I
Yeah.
mean, whether what's the team? Even Warriors, they're still in the B championship for the most part every year. Like, uh, but like I said, we're focused on math. We got teams we need to play. We got a little friendly rival with Q. on playmakers, so I'm excited for that one. You know,
It's going to be exciting to watch.
yeah, it's definitely a good one. Definitely a
And
good
I
one.
and I definitely look forward to being able to cover your all's games down there when the opportunity presents itself.
Yeah, hey, take a ride if you could get to Inwood. We got a truck. We got a
I'll be
truck.
definitely down. I'm definitely down for checking it out this fall down in Tucker Road in Maffel. It's a great league, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how you guys fare down there, transitioning from Washington County to the Mid Atlantic League.
They just run around league to league.
They just go. They're true flag football players at heart,
Yeah, I
and
mean, we got to follow where all the talent's going right now, and that's where most of the talent is in our area, if
yeah.
not the best in our area. You know, I mean, you go out there, you see AFN doing their thing. Much respect to them. We clearly want to go in there and be the top dogs. I mean, why wouldn't we? But that's just something I'm looking forward to. I mean, definitely looking forward to. We play the Grammys a lot, so I mean, it's good to see them. There's a lot of teams that I hear about that I haven't got to really see play, and I'm sure I'll get to see them play out there. You know.
Yeah. I definitely look forward to seeing you take on a lot of new competition, especially down there where, no
Yeah, we
offense to
should.
anybody up here, but I'm saying facts, the competition is the best.
I feel it.
Maffel is a man's league.
Yeah, I gotta get my weight up. This 145 ain't gonna hold me out there, Joey.
Oh, it's different. It's
So,
gonna be different down there. It's gonna be physical and it's gonna be fun.
yeah, yeah.
But
But
once again, Cannon,
like
thank
I
you for joining us, sir.
past my bedtime. I
Is
gotta
it
kiss.
past your bedtime?
I gotta kiss the kids goodnight and go to bed, man.
Hey man, go on ahead.
All right, fellas, y'all enjoy your night, man.
Thank you for joining us, and you have yourself a wonderful night, sir.
All right, you too, bro.
Best of luck in your recovery.
Thank you.
Now, joining us, and I would love to see. If there's anything I'd love to see more than anything else, it's Cannon making his return this fall and upcoming season.
I can't wait.
I can't wait either. It's going to be an interesting fall season, but Ross, we got a summer ahead of us that's going to be just as good. Beginning on for us, however, we're going to be covering only a little bit of it. We won't be doing much for Albany or York. We're going to be taking off July, as we mentioned. We're going to return, though, in August for Owings Mills, as well as Shippensburg a week later. That's going to be a tournament. That's going to be a big deal around here. The KFFL is hosting their first ever tournament August 10th and 11th in Shippensburg, PA. The Summer Sizzler. Right now, 2 teams are enrolled in it, Ruckus and Killer Bees. So those of you who were watching Keystone and County all season, you may finally get your wish come true of a Keystone County matchup in Shippensburg come this summer in the Summer Sizzler. That's August 10th and 11th. That's going to be an awesome event. I look forward to it. Hopefully we'll see more league teams come in from there. And after that, we'll be set to go. Blunt Talk is going to be airing on Wednesdays in the fall. That switch will happen sometime around, I want to say right when we come back, Ross.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometime around then. We'll do a special show for Owings Mills, and then we'll proceed to go from Shippensburg to a preview of the Washington County League, as well as some Keystone coverage. If I were to do my selection for a preseason power rankings based on who I believe is coming back next season, who would I go with for number 1? Ross, are you ready for the way too early power rankings?
Yeah. Let's do this. What you got?
Number 7, of course, is the Railroaders.
You said number 1 first. Now you're going straight to number 7.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Number 7 is the Railroaders.
All right.
Number 6, of course, Red Knights.
Okay.
Number 5 is the Program.
Okay.
Number 4 is Ruckus.
Okay.
Number 3 is you guys.
Okay.
Number 2 is Broad Axe.
Uh-huh.
Because to me, the best team entering the Washington County Flag Football League this fall already has the Keystone Championship, and they're coming for more. X-Dogs is my early prediction to pull the double.
That's fair enough.
Ross, what about you? Because
My-
I've seen a lot of his. I've watched the X-Dogs a lot this year.
My way too early preseason rankings would be 7 Red Knights,
Red Knights at 7? Okay.
6 Brunswick, 4 Ruckus, no 5 Ruckus, 4 Program, 3 Broadaxe, 2 X-Dogs, 1 Warriors.
1 to Warriors?
Yep.
Gotcha. I figured as much.
Duh.
No, I figured.
And our biggest competition would be X-Dogs.
Your biggest competition's X-Dogs?
Yeah.
I think so, too. I watched them in Ocean City on that first day. They did great.
Yeah.
They were dominant in Keystone. They're probably the deepest they've been in years. I just feel like this X-Dogs team coming in to the fall is the current favorite in the WCFFL with ADR out. However,
Yeah.
it's only June 27th, guys.
Yeah.
We still got a month to go until we come back. We still got a month and a half to go until Keystone Shippensburg tournament. And we still got about 2 months left until we do this season. So enjoy your summer from Joey Blaze and Ross Collins. And we'll see you in Owings Mills.
See you.